Hey guys, how y'all doing today? It's a Saturday. I'm so lost on my days. Yeah, Saturday. Saturday morning. Me and Ruby are out and trying to, of course, get some answers or some clues, some tips, something, anything that will help any case. So I wanted to take a little bit of time this morning to come on, and I want to visit a little bit about. Well, hold on. First, let me say that this is, of course, my thoughts, my opinions, my theories, my speculations, little fact, little fiction. I'm speaking from me, from, of course, my heart with my thoughts only. Nobody else's. Nobody, not to reflect on the channel or anything like that. I want to take a minute to talk a little bit about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. I know that lately it's been getting a little, I don't know, a little bit of stuff been going on, and I know that it's starting to get talked about a little bit more, it seems like, in the past 3 days, which is great. There seems like there's a bunch of new people joining in and on the searching and stuff, and that's great. I hope everybody keeps their searches private. I really do. For their safety and for the sake of their families and everybody that, friends, whoever. But it's always good to keep your stuff safe and keep yourself safe. And especially if you have a dog or anything with you, keep them safe. So I did want to come on and talk about a few things. I know that I've made a few videos on this, and I told y'all, we joined the case, and we did. We're doing our part. We're searching. We're doing the things that we need to do to try to help create tips or anything that it might help on. But I want to kind of touch a little bit on the social media part of it. I went back and did a little bit of research on some of the things that were talked about on channels and things like that, and the call-in stuff, and all this stuff that people have brought up. And I've heard a few things that I really didn't. I knew about them, but I really didn't know about them, if you know what I mean. Like, him being sprayed with water hoses and things like that, and then hiding under a car, and just so much stuff that's out there that, of course, we don't know how much of it's fact and how much of it's, fiction, of course, but it kind of creates people to form their own opinion and speculation, and that's what these kind of cases, when they go this long, that's what happens, because the longer it goes, like I always say, the more speculation that gets put out there, because everybody should have their own opinion. I agree with that 100%, but I always feel like the truth eventually is going to come out, and when it does, it will. I'm starting to steer towards the lines of watching a few videos and things like that, and a few clips, and like I said, I have been watching a few of those when I have a little free time, or when we're searching, I'll put one on and listen to it while we're searching, so I can understand a little bit more about the beginning of this whole thing. And there's so much days that seems like one interview had a lot of emotion and the rest really didn't have any emotion, and we don't know how we would act in that state. But the tears I would think, would always be there. There's a few things that bug me, of course. The packing up and leaving, like y'all always say, hey, that's a red flag. And of course, you don't know if that child's going to come home, but if you know where the child is, of course you can leave, right? Kind of how we look at it. Take any case, for instance, and if they know where the child is, then they can go, do what they want to do, and spend as much time away as they want to. And that's what kind of brings me to me always saying, I think that this little boy is somewhere, hidden or put up. And I'm doing my digging, and I just feel that there was at least 4 people involved in it. I don't think that there's no way it was done by 2. I don't think, no way, not supposedly where they were scattered out. But then again, you know, that's just my thoughts. So I don't say that I'm right. I don't know if I'm right. So I'm not going to come on and say, yes, I know. No, I'll never do that, because I don't know anything. Not until we get the truth. And it will come out eventually. It might take a little while. It's going to come out. Just like the Summer Wells case. The truth will come out. But I think that case is, of course, a lot easier. And, I mean, I could talk about that all day long as well. But I just feel like some of the things that have been said, some of the things that have been done, some of the people that have been run off, some, you know, supposedly there's stories that people were tearing down flyers. And, you know, if somebody's tearing down flyers, that's flat out evil. Like, nobody should take down any flyer of a missing child. And we don't know what kind of thing orchestrated behind all this. We don't know the masterminds behind all this. We just know that on that day, he was vanished, like, you know, like in thin air. So that doesn't happen. We know that doesn't happen. Nobody just vanishes in thin air. I mean, look at some of the missing cases. You know, they're at least seen on camera at their schools or somewhere else. I mean, they're seen at least. Yes, we know they're missing, but at least they have a last footage of them. We don't have any last footage of him, not from that day, or not even from that the night before, only that evening dinner. That's it. Like, that's the only footage they have. And we haven't seen that footage. Just, of course, the fathers, you know, confirmed the footage. But we've never saw it. We don't, I mean, I think there's been a few people that have talked to the waitress and things like that and got information, which I think is wonderful. Anytime it's fresh like that, get in there and talk to anybody. I'm wondering if anybody talked to any of the people in the restaurants over by the campsites. I am curious about that. And of course, if they're out there, reach out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to know. That always helps. Kind of like in the Mia James case, I know y'all noticed, if y'all monitor the comments, that one of her friends reached out to me on a comment. And that's what really sparked the whole thing on the little Mia James case, is that a brave little girl and her age was able to reach out on a comment. That shows that little girl is brave to do that. That's wonderful, because those little things sometimes make all the difference in the world. And it's so great that she has friends that want to, are willing to be searching and looking for answers on social media to see if she's been found or to see if anything. And, you know, when they reach out like that, it makes a huge difference. So, you know, of course, I would love for anybody that was friends with Sebastian Rogers at school to reach out. Man, that would be great. I could get some more information. I feel like this case has done so many flip-flops and cartwheels and somersaults, and it's the drama and all that. It's just, I wish that would die down. I think it is dying down a little. I think it's calmed down. I think as long as we talk kindly and would never use a child's name in a bad way, which nobody should do that. That doesn't matter who you are, especially not a missing child. Like, it should only be positive talk. It should never be negative talk, guys. Never. And no fighting in between and amongst each other, because we're just people that want the information and want to know the truth and want to get justice. That's all. So the way to do that is to keep everything civil. And of course, we can say, you know, all the parents are grieving and stuff, and we don't know how they're feeling inside their hearts, so we can't really judge that part of it. We can go by their actions, and actions do speak louder than words a lot of times. So that's where I'm at right now, is trying to take all the actions of everybody in this case and write the pros and cons of them and come up with a number. And that's what I've been working on. And I feel like, you know, it's a little bit different than how I thought in the beginning, but that's okay. That's what happens in a lot of cases. And so I feel like we need to research. We need to, you know, of course, we're not law enforcement or anything like that. We're just people that have big hearts that want to go search and find answers and be a voice for these little children that don't have a voice. So the more we can investigate, the deeper we can investigate, the more we can write down every word that's said in interviews. And I know it takes time, but and then analyze it, and then look at some of the things with the people that do analyze and break down this stuff. Go back and look at different tapes and see why people use this word, why people use that word, and then what's the meaning behind it. And you know, go back and look at older cases when you see parents begging for their children to be home safe, and look how they react and look how they act. And, you know, you can take polls that way. You know, just take 10 cases in the past and go look at how their parents were on the media. If they were begging, if they were crying, if they were, you know, are they a Chris Watts, or are they, you know, somebody totally different? And there's certain people that have different emotions. I get it. But when it comes to a missing child, how you react on camera makes a big difference in the whole case, I think. And I understand some people just don't have emotions, and some people do, but it's how you handle yourself and how the words you use when asked about, you know, if you could say anything to your child, what would you say? That's always the most important line to me when I look at a case. And I don't know if y'all feel the same. I hope y'all do, but that's what I always look for. If you could speak to him right now, what would you say? And that little bitty phrase that they say makes a big, big imprint on the case to me. And so that's kind of what I've been working on. And I do work on things differently than most people. Kind of like somebody brought up last night, I talked about the booster seat for the Samuel Wells case. I have 2 children. I know that you have to have those things. That's the law. I didn't know the law there, but I know the law here. And I felt like, you know, they were using a pillow to prop her up so she would look like she was taller, but it's not a booster seat. So I don't know. That's another story in itself. But I just feel like I wanted to come on and say these few things this morning to let y'all know where we stand, and that we are still trying to take each side seriously and look at each side all the way through. And then hopefully somebody out there that's searching will find the answers. You know, I'm not saying it needs to be us. No, I'm just saying it needs to be somebody. Somebody needs to find the answer. Somebody needs to find this child. And whether he's in another state, whether he's in New York, whether he's in Alaska, whether he's in Philadelphia, like, we don't know where he is. All we can go by is look at the places people traveled around that case time, and then think about those areas and go after those areas. You know, not necessarily Tennessee. I mean, he might not be in Tennessee. I mean, a lot of people are thinking he's not. So we need to check all the areas that any family member went to within a week or two after he went missing, or a week before, 2 weeks before. See if they made plans, see if they, I mean, we don't know. We could just speculate at this point. So, of course, guys, trigger warning, these are my thoughts, these are my theories, these are my opinions. And only mine, not to reflect on the channel or Ruby. Ruby just loves to search for the little kids, that's it. She just wants to bring justice home just like we do. So, I just wanted to come on and say that. Of course, again, these are my thoughts, my opinions only, nobody else's. And I'm just learning a little more each day about this case as I read and watch videos and learn little things that are facts, little things that are fiction, and start putting them all together on a notepad and seeing what the pros and cons are from everyone in the family and how everybody reacted in the beginning, how everybody's reacting now. And it's usually, I always look at this as a way to understand. And if you look at people's language, a lot of times you can figure it out. And so that's why I go and do so much detailed on things that they say, kind of like what I said a while ago. If they ask them, if he could hear you now and you could say one thing to him, what do you say? To me, that's one of the most important things in every missing case. So I feel that shows character, that shows who you are as a parent or as a grandparent or whoever's doing the speech. So, all right, guys, anyway, we love y'all. We'll talk later. I'm sorry for rambling so much. We're out here moving around. I've been watching clips, and I wanted to come on and just, whenever I build a bunch of thoughts up, I like to just get them out and let y'all hear them. So, me and Ruby love y'all. We appreciate y'all every day. We appreciate all y'all's prayers and kind words. And we will talk on the next one. Remember, this is just my thoughts, my opinion, my theories, not to reflect on anyone else or the channel. All right, guys, see you on the next one. Bye.